Hello everyone, welcome to CodeSoft. In this video, we are going to talk about the question find largest sum contiguous array. So let's get started. Now the problem statement says we need to write an efficient program to find the sum of contiguous subarray within a 1D array of numbers which has the largest sum. So what does this mean is that we are given an array. Now we need to find out a sub array out of that array which is continuous in nature, that is there is no break and all the elements are in order inside that array, and also that sub array should give us the maximum sum possible out of all the sub arrays that can be created with that particular array. Okay, I think the problem statement is clear now. So you can pause the video and try the question on yourself. If you're not able to, then please refer to this video. So the example test case is that we are given this array that is having, let's say, 8 numbers, and out of this you can see that a sub array starting from 4 and ending till 5 is giving us the sum as 7, and this is the maximum sub array sum possible. There are other sub arrays also possible, like starting from -2 going till 5 or -2 till 4, but these sub arrays are not giving us the maximum sum. That is why we are getting the sum maximum sum as 7 from this sub array, and this is what we expect. Now, what can be the brute force approach to solve this problem? So the brute force approach says that we are given this array, start a loop I from the first element. This will mark the starting point of our subarray. Now start another loop starting from I plus 1. This is a nested loop, that is j, and this will go from I plus 1 till n. Okay, and this will mark the ending point of our subarray. So we have got the starting and the ending point of the subarray. So starting from each element going till each element, we will get all the subarrays possible using this I and j. But still these I and j will not give us the sum that we want. So for some of that particular array, we will require another loop, that is k, that will start from I and go till j. So from I to j, this will go and calculate the sum. For example, let's say the I is -2 and the j is -3. So the sum will be the k will start from -2. It will add -2 to the sum, and then it will go to -3 and it will add this to the sum, and we will get -5 from this particular subarray. So we will store the sum of each subarray, then create a variable that is max sum, and we will actually compare it with that max sum, and at the end of the I, j and k loop, when we will come out, we will get the maximum value in the max sum variable. So this is the brute force approach. The code says we start the first loop I starting from 0 till n minus 1, then we start a j from I plus 1 till n. So these I and j refer to the starting and ending point of the each subarray, right? Inside this we declare a variable sum which is initialized with the value 0. Now this will hold the sub array sum that we are forming using our I and j variable. So we start a variable k that goes from I goes till j, and inside it just calculates sum. After coming out from k, that is coming out from one particular sub array, we check whether that sum is greater than maximum. If that is the case, we update the maximum with the sum. So at the end of all the loops, we will just return the maximum because this will be holding the maximum sum value possible in this case. Okay, so now we have seen the brute force approach. Let's see the optimized solution. So there is an algorithm by the name of KDN that we actually use in optimizing this particular problem. So what does it goes like? So let's see that. So this is the array that we are given. Now KDN's algorithm, what it says is that whenever we come to an element, there are two possibilities of calculating the subarray sum. One is that the subarray has been started from some previous element and is coming to this element. In that case, what it will get is some previous sum coming from the previous subarray part, and in that we will add this particular array. The second possibility is that our subarray is starting from here only, from this element. So current sum at that point will only be 4. Okay, these are the two possibilities. Now we need to check that the previous sum that we are getting, or the sum that is coming from behind, is it negative or it is positive. This we have to check. In case the sum that is coming is negative, then there is no point of counting that subarray, because we are this value, this will actually be greater than this value if this is negative. right? So in that case, we will just choose this if that is coming as negative. So this is the logic behind Cadence algorithm, that whenever we are getting a negative sum from previous subarrays, we will just replace that negative sum with the sum of 0. We will replace sum with 0 and we will start our subarray from that particular element from where we are getting a negative sum. So this is the main algorithm that we will follow. So let me just show you the flow that will be followed in the code implementation also. So what it will do, we will just take single pointer, that is I, a single loop will do. We will start from first element. It will calculate sum. So sum will now become -2 when this element will encounter. Okay, after getting sum as -2, we will compare this sum with max sum. If sum is greater than max sum, which is true in this case because int min is like -9,000 or something very large negative value. So we will replace int min with -2 in this case, and sum will be -2. Now, as I said, that whenever we will get a negative sum, we will replace it with 0. So there is no point of creating that subarray that is having a negative sum till now. Then we will move our I pointer one step ahead. Now the sum will become -3. We will compare -3 with -2. -2 is greater, so we will do nothing, and -3 will again be changed to 0. Why so? Because it is again a negative subarray sum. Then we will move to 4. Now 4 will yield us a sum of 4, right? And 4 is greater than -2, so we will replace this with 4. Now we will again move our pointer one step ahead. Now the sum will become 3, and max sum will remain 4 only because 4 is greater than 3. And we will now, this 3 will also not be changed to 0 because 3 is a positive value. We just change the sum value to 0 whenever we encounter a negative subarray sum value. Now we will go to -2, so this will become 1, and 1 is again smaller than 4, so we will not change the max sum value. And we will move to the next element. This will become 2. Now 2 is again less than 4, so 4 will not be changed. We will move to the next element. Adding 5 to 2 will give us 7. Now 7 is again greater than 4, so we will replace 4 with 7 in our max sum value, and we will move one step ahead. Adding -3 to 7 will give us again 4. Now 4 is less than 7, so we do not have to change any value, and we have completed our array. So this value that we get at the end of the loop will be our answer, and 7 is what we actually want. So this is how our algorithm will work. So if I show you the code implementation, this is the array, and n equals to 8 in this case. We define a variable maxsum as int min. This will store the maximum sum at the end of the looping. This is a sum that will actually calculate the sum of the subarrays that we encounter. And now we start our main loop. So this is the main loop that we start, I from 0 to n. First we just add the value of arr I into our sum. Then we check whether sum is greater than maxsum or not. If our sum is greater than maxsum, we replace our maxsum with sum, and our maxsum will be updated through this if statement. After that, we even check that if sum is negative value, we need to change our sum to 0. That is, we need to end the subarray here itself, and the next element that we will encounter will be the first element of our new subarray. And this will repeat till the end of the loop. At the end of the loop, we will just get the value of maximum subarray sum in this maxsum variable, and we can print this. So if I run this code, you can see we are getting maximum continuous value is 7, and that is what we actually require. So this is the cadence algorithm. I hope the logic is clear to you, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned to add more first tunes into your knowledge garland. Until then, please keep subscribing. Thank you.